4 QBs likely to go high, 6 could be picked in first round. 4 quarterbacks are certain to go in the first round of the NFL draft Thursday night, all of them early. 5 might be off the board midway through the top 32 picks. And, who knows, given the desperation pro teams are displaying about finding that franchise QB, we could see 6 of them go on opening night. Barring trades, and there will be a few of them, here's one attempt at a mock draft. 1. Cleveland once more. The Browns try to find their long-term guy at the key offensive position. There are plenty of positives and enough negatives about the top 4 quarterbacks to make this a crapshoot. We'll roll with the QB with the most upside. Josh Allen, QB, Wyoming 2. New York Giants. Despite the screams from Big Blue fans to find the replacement for Eli Manning, the Giants believe he has 2 or 3 very good years left. So do we. Helping Manning recapture the glory will be the highest-rated player in the entire draft. Saquon Barkley, RB, Penn State 3. New York Jets. From Indianapolis they traded to this spot with one express purpose, finding the next Joe Namath. Or a reasonable facsimile. Sam Darnold, QB, Southern California 4. Cleveland. From Houston the Browns took a stud defensive end last year at the top in Myles Garrett. They get to bookend him with this drop-stop defensive player. Bradley Chubb, the North Carolina State 5. Denver. Many teams will call the Broncos when they see that 2 of their hyped quarterbacks remain. John Elway will listen, then will grab what he hopes will be the next, well, John Elway. Baker Mayfield, QB, Oklahoma 6. Indianapolis. From NY Jets. If they don't trade again, and if they're convinced Andrew Luck will, indeed, return to Pro Bowl form, the Colts have lots of options here. They also have tons of needs. Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame 7. Tampa Bay. Nelson would have been on the Bucs' radar, but no other blocker rates in the top 10, so they turn to filling a hole on defense with Denzel Ward, CB, Ohio State 8. Chicago. Certainly not in the quarterback derby after their bold move for Mitchell Trubisky a year ago. The Bears can go many ways here. The most help for them to go up in the NFC North is Tremaine Edmonds, Pounds, Virginia Tech 9. San Francisco. With Jimmy G in the fold for years, and multi-millions, the rapidly rebuilding and improving 49ers get a stud on the defensive side reminiscent of Patrick Willis. Roquan Smith, Pounds, Georgia 10. Oakland. Predicting what John Gruden ever will do, such as leaving the comfort of the broadcast booth for the black hole, is foolhardy. Then again, what is a mock draft? Minkah Fitzpatrick, S., Alabama 11. Miami. The Dolphins worked on every kind of scenario to get them into the QB derby. Guess what? Miami's staying put was the best strategy. Josh Rosen, QB, UCLA 12. Buffalo. From Cincinnati. Lots of groaning going on in western New York after division rival Miami takes Rosen. The Bills could reach here for a quarterback, but are better served addressing the chasm on the offensive line with Mike McGlinchey, Notre Dame 13. Washington. Other than the trade for Alex Smith, a big one of course, the Redskins have been relatively quiet this offseason. There's a need on the defensive line and in the secondary. With such a choice, go for the pass rusher. Marcus Davenport, the UTSA 14. Green Bay. This is not a top-heavy draft for receivers, but one stands out as a first-rounder. Aaron Rodgers has expressed some differences with the Packers on off-season moves, but will like this one. Calvin Ridley, WR, Alabama 15. Arizona. Bruce Arians is gone. Carson Palmer is gone. Most significantly, Tyrann Mathieu is gone, and that's the guy who will be replaced here. Derwin James, S., Florida State 16. Baltimore. Ozzie Newsome's last draft. The GM has been spot on so many times in his tenure, but he's also missed recently with some high picks. Baltimore's offense needs a boost. Darius Geis, RB, LSU 17. LA Chargers. We said the Giants weren't looking at the future replacement for Eli Manning. The Chargers, who traded Manning's rights to New York back in 2004 and got Phillip Rivers, take a different approach. Lamar Jackson, QB, Louisville 18. Seattle, don't you dare utter the world rebuild around GM John Schneider and coach Pete Carroll. Not even in a whisper. Still, this roster needs some big-time hits in the draft. Maybe start with Josh Jackson, CB, Iowa 19. Dallas, a receiver would seem to make sense, except no wideouts warrant this spot. Edge rusher does, as well as almost anybody on defense. Cowboys take big guy in middle. Vita V, DT, Washington 20. Detroit, Matt Patricia is a defensive coach and the Lions have enough needs there for him to skip filling the holes at tight end or running back to get an all-around stud. Harold Landry, DePounce, Boston College 21. Cincinnati, from Buffalo, anyone and everyone is on the board for Cincinnati, which never shies away from character issues with its players. There aren't such issues with Will Hernandez, G, UTEP 22. Buffalo, from Kansas City, missing on their quarterback earlier in this round, the Bills ponder whether to gamble a bit on a signal caller here. They also know the Patriots, up next, have a liking for Mason Rudolph, QB, Oklahoma State 23. New England, from LA Rams, after seeing his defense torched in the Super Bowl, Bill Belichick must have been gritting his teeth for 2.5 months. He gets one player to help shore up the unit in Leighton Vander Esch, Pounds, Boise State 24. Carolina, Cam Newton has done some of his best work, including winning league MVP honors, when he's had deep threats to throw to. Torrey Smith isn't the answer, but maybe this pick will provide the guy. Christian Kirk, WR, Texas A&M 25. Tennessee, new coach Mike Vrabel, like Detroit's Patricia, comes from the New England defensive stable. He'll appreciate the chance to upgrade the defense with De'Aaron Payne, DT, Alabama 26. Atlanta, and other teams seeking defensive help, particularly someone inside who can occupy blockers, penetrate gaps and has enough versatility to play run and pass. That guy is Taven Bryan, DT, Florida 27. New Orleans, coming off one of the best drafts in team history, the Saints would be thrilled to come close this time. Tight end is their biggest need and Drew Brees will make good use of Hayden Hurst.